Don't let YouTube decide what information you get. That's your choice. YouTube is deleting our videos and cuts you off from a source of honest reporting. Make sure you don't lose access to NTD's news content, and take a quick moment to subscribe to our newsletter so no matter what happens here, you'll keep your access to a trustworthy news source.
And the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer mandatory for healthcare workers in New York State, at least for now. A federal judge is blocking the state's vaccine mandate.
U.S. District Court Judge David Hurd granted a temporary restraining order in a lawsuit against New York Governor Kathy Hochul. That means the state's vaccine mandate is suspended, but the lawsuit is still ongoing. 17 healthcare workers filed the lawsuit. They argue that the vaccine mandate would nullify protections for sincere religious beliefs. Their religious beliefs compel them to refuse vaccines that use aborted fetus cell lines in testing, development, or production. The plaintiff's attorney, Christopher Ferreira, said in a statement, "Never in the history of New York State, never in the history of the world, has a government sought to forcibly impose mass vaccination on an entire class of people under threat of immediate personal and professional destruction." Then New York Governor Andrew Cuomo imposed the mandate in August, and at least one hospital is having a staffing crisis because of it. Lewis County General Hospital in upstate New York said last week they won't be able to deliver babies anymore. That's because 6 workers in its maternity ward resigned over the vaccine mandate.
4 Chinese warships, including a Chinese destroyer, have sailed into the U.S.'s exclusive economic zone. Chinese state-run media says this is a warning to the U.S. about China's naval capabilities. NTD's Don Ma has more.
China looks to be sending a strong message to the U.S. about its maritime prowess. In a display of naval power, as per Chinese state-run media The Global Times, 4 advanced Chinese warships, including a destroyer, conducted naval operations in the U.S.'s exclusive economic zone near Alaska late last month. A country's exclusive economic zone is considered international waters. It's not part of a nation's territory, but a state does have the exclusive right to marine resources within the area. The Chinese ships included a guided missile destroyer, a guided missile cruiser, a general intelligence vessel, and an auxiliary vessel. The ships were spotted near Alaska's Aleutian Islands by 2 Legend-class U.S. Coast Guard ships. Pictures released by the Coast Guard showed the U.S. ships shadowing the Chinese ships. A statement by the Coast Guard on Monday says the Chinese vessels were conducting military and surveillance operations during their deployment to the Bering Sea and North Pacific Ocean. It looks like the Chinese ships didn't show any signs of aggression. The Coast Guard said that while the ships were within the U.S. exclusive economic zone, they followed international laws and norms and at no point entered U.S. territorial waters. According to Chinese state-run newspaper The Global Times, the Chinese warships near Alaska demonstrated the Chinese Navy's far-reaching capabilities. It also says the ship's presence at the U.S.'s doorstep is a sign of defiance against what the paper calls U.S. actions of hegemony. Don Ma, NTD News.
And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was seen sporting a white dress with the words "Tax the Rich" on it. That was at this year's fundraising event called the Met Gala at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The New York Congresswoman defended her decision after taking heavy criticism over her controversial wardrobe. Here's NTD's Kevin Hogan with more.
Hypocrisy accusations surrounded Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after her appearance at the Met Gala on Monday. She wore a white dress that had the words "Tax the Rich" written on it in red letters. Critics accused her of being two-faced for wearing the dress while hobnobbing with celebrities and extremely wealthy guests at the gala, where tickets are reportedly priced at $35,000 apiece. The self-described socialist took to Instagram to defend the dress, saying, "The medium is the message," and "Time is now for childcare, healthcare, and climate action for all." The president of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy, responded, "Tax the rich, but first I'm going to go have the time of my life partying with them at the most extravagant, over-the-top party of the year that is essentially a celebration of richness." AOC sought to disrupt criticism beforehand by saying that NYC elected officials are regularly invited to the Met. Her ticket was allegedly a gift. AOC claims that taxing the rich will help the poor by decreasing wealth inequality and raise a lot of revenue without hurting the economy. Yet according to economist Fred Foldberry, increasing the marginal tax rate on the rich will hurt all of society, including the poor. That's because he says the higher taxes will result in less production, less investment, and less entrepreneurship. The dress and its message were designed to provoke debate, and the New York Congresswoman certainly succeeded in achieving that objective. Kevin Hogan, NTD News.
In a rare move, Wikipedia is banning 7 Chinese editors and revoking administration access for 12 others. That's after the users reportedly threatened their Hong Kong peers over political differences. Here's more.
The Wikimedia Foundation, which owns and operates Wikipedia, announced Monday that they permanently banned 7 top Chinese users from accessing the website globally. They also revoked administrator access for 12 others. The users all belong to a group called Wikimedians of Mainland China, which the Wikimedia Foundation doesn't officially recognize. Hong Kong media HKFP reported in July that the mainland Chinese users threatened to dox and report Hong Kong users to the city's national security police for alleged political disagreements. Under Hong Kong's national security law, the government has broad powers to punish dissidents and critics. The Wikimedia Foundation's Vice President of Community Resilience and Sustainability, Maggie Dennis, said in a statement, "This case is unprecedented in scope and nature. We know that some users have been physically harmed as a result. With this confirmed, we have no choice but to act swiftly and appropriately in response." According to HKFP, the mainland Chinese and Hong Kong editors have been at war with each other over Wikipedia entries on Hong Kong political events. The so-called editing wars escalated during the city's 2019 pro-democracy protests. The mainland editors would cite Chinese state media, while the Hong Kong editors would cite independent Hong Kong media to describe the events. The Wikimedia statement goes on to say, "The situation we are dealing with today has shown me how much we need as a movement to grapple with the hard questions of how we remain open to editing by anyone anywhere while ensuring that individuals who take us up on that offer are not harmed by those who want to silence them." Since 2012, Wikipedia has banned only 86 other users.
Google has just barred ads from pro-life organization Live Action. This is after a report was published accusing the group of spreading medical misinformation. But Live Action is calling this a coordinated pro-abortion attack and claims the removal of their ads is political. NTD's Grace Coulter has the story.
Pro-life group Live Action says Google disapproved all of its abortion pill reversal ads after running them for over 4 months. The group says the ads were aimed to inform women of the possibility of reversing the abortion pill process, which involves treatment with a pregnancy hormone called progesterone. The promotion of this animation video of human development in the womb was also blocked. The ads were all shut down, citing Google's unreliable claims policy. This comes after the Center for Countering Digital Hate released a report accusing Facebook and Google of endangering women for profit by selling ad space promoting the abortion pill reversal, which the report calls a dangerous and unproven procedure. Google told the Daily Beast it removed the ads after reviewing a copy of the report provided by the outlet. But Lila Rose, the founder of Live Action, is calling Google's move a political double standard because she says the tech giant is still permitting ads promoting the abortion pill, which, according to the FDA, has killed at least 24 women and hospitalized over 1,000. Rose says it's also responsible for ending the lives of millions of babies. She's calling on Google to fairly apply its own policies and immediately restore pro-life ads. Grace Coulter, NTD News.
A New York City police officer is in the hospital after she was held hostage in Queens. NTD's Ariane Pazdar is at the scene of the incident.
We're here at the outskirts of New York City, very close to JFK Airport. An NYPD officer was held hostage in her own home by her husband. Now, he reportedly opened fire at police who tried entering the home. In the end, the captive officer had to jump out of the window to escape. The officer broke her foot because of the jump, but wasn't injured in any other way. The suspect got shot in the arm after the officer had escaped. Later, he engaged in dialogue with the police, who was outside the house. During that time, a relative of the suspect stormed the scene, as you can see here on footage posted on the Citizen app.
While in dialogue with the male, a relative of the suspect arrived at the scene. The relative worked with the officers from our hostage negotiation team. The suspect voluntarily came to the door and was placed under arrest.
According to reports, the suspect thought his wife is having an affair, which is why he took her service weapon and threatened her with it. Ariane Pazdar, NTD News, New York.
In France, healthcare workers who haven't received the vaccine will be dismissed starting tomorrow. This might seriously affect hospitals, which already lack manpower. NTD's David Vives has the story.
Healthcare workers took part in several demonstrations across France on Tuesday. Protesters spoke out against the vaccine mandate. From September 15th, healthcare workers who refuse to be vaccinated will be dismissed. Dozens gathered outside the French Health Ministry in Paris. According to trade union spokesperson Yann Le Baron, the non-vaccinated are now the black sheep in hospitals.
We say yes to the vaccine, yes to the science, but we're totally against this form of blackmail, saying we will lose our jobs if we don't comply with the government.
He says the government is trying to lay the blame on non-vaccinated staff.
We are being pushed to believe that unvaccinated people are so dangerous to others that they deserve to lose their jobs.
Some healthcare workers said on social media that they will take days off, hoping for a reversal of the decision.
Non-vaccinated staff have been summoned by administrators at their hospitals. Some received text messages directly from their bosses, which is illegal, and some employees could not bear it, so they took weeks off.
Medical Secretary Vanessa Perotti, who works just outside of Paris at a public hospital, joined the protest outside the French Health Ministry to show her opposition to the vaccine. She said she was ready to be suspended from her hospital job and has already sent her resume to potential employers.
I've sent my CV around. I'll wait for a job offer and I'll show my current employers my contract and I'll say goodbye.
According to the health minister, around 90% of all healthcare workers have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Non-vaccinated healthcare workers only make up a small minority, but even if between 5 to 10% of healthcare workers are dismissed, it could create a big issue for the French healthcare system, which according to the union already faces a shortage of manpower. David Vives, NTD News.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to catch all of our programs on TV. NTD Evening News is on every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Find your local NTD channel at ntd.com/TV.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.